Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. I'm Joe Thorderson, here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbreth, and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And Brandon, you set it off the air. The theme today is What Did We Miss? And boy, I've never seen Allan this animated. I said, why don't we turn the microphones on, Allan? You're wasting all our
I'm not even talking about food. I totally can't take credit for this. Because this was something me and Allan were talking about the other day.
Okay.
And I was like, why don't we talk about that? And he goes, I've been trying to get you guys to talk about that for weeks. And I was like, okay.
Well, let's do that. So, and then, hey, Max, though, if we have time later, I did want to, we all know the history of the Wizard of Oz, and actually, talk about a train wreck of a filming thing. I mean, it's a masterpiece.
I'll
just
say one thing.
Okay.
The Munchkins had the best experience.
I guess so.
I'm going to say another thing. You and Max need to stop hanging outside. Y'all are just ridiculous.
Okay.
Guys, I'm just going to give them a look behind the scenes. I am sitting in a studio with three very giddy individuals, and on a Sunday morning, that's just not something I'm used to.
Because scary. You're just getting off. Okay, anyway.
Right,
you're getting off of work.
If you're going to do the Wizard of Oz, you also have to talk about Under the Rainbow.
All right, well, we'll get to that. But Allan, you were talking about what did we miss, but what do you mean by that, I guess?
So, the big news is not what was a great movie this year. It has almost been a competition.
That hasn't been the big news in a while, but yeah.
But it's almost been a competition for how bad can we crash.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
the
seriously.
flopbuster.
Yeah. If you look at box office bombs of 2025,
there's a lot.
It's like every movie that came out. Nearly.
Yeah.
I mean, Snow White. Train wreck brewing. We knew Snow White was a train wreck a year ago. And yet, heaven bless their little souls. They went, no, you don't understand. We must lose as much money as possible. We're going to make it. If we're going to bomb, we're going to bomb in a record.
I want to go ahead and say this. The movie's not nearly as bad as I expected it to be.
It's not.
But it is so full of nightmare fuel. That I feel it's like the kids love it, but I'm sitting there going, the dwarfs are going to get me. The dwarfs are going to get me.
Yeah, the last time I had a movie that I was afraid I was going to dream about, was one I'm ashamed to say when I heard about the movie idea, I was excited.
Right.
And then I heard everybody had lined up for it, and I went, this is going to wreck horribly.
Yeah.
And that was Cats the movie.
Well, and it did.
And it wrecked. It wrecked in ways I didn't know you could wreck a movie.
I'm gonna add a question to this question.
Okay.
With the whole idea of what did we miss, I would like to ask, why did we miss it? Because I think the thing that made Snow White terrible is the fact that we had so much backlash beforehand with Rachel Zegler. But it's with some other films, the reason we don't hear about them is because they don't. If it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead.
No, I mean, I'm going to give you that one, Max. The reason we missed so many of the good movies that have been out this year and they made $1.75 is because advertising has been garbage lately.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go ahead and say you're at least 98% right with the whole Snow White thing. From the moment that this thing got announced, everybody was against it. And that's what we heard. So, I mean, maybe we were tainted. Love them to death again. Disney children are amazing. They go and they'll watch anything. So if you need to
sing along with
if you need a
have
profit,
a good time.
If you need a profit, you make it a sing along.
Yeah.
But
all right.
Max, one of the things that me and Allan discussed the other night was a movie called The Life of Chuck.
Yes.
And it's got Tom Hiddleston in it. It's Loki. He is starring in this film alongside Chiwetel Ejiofor and Carl Lumbly and Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill's in this thing.
Hamill. And David Desmalchin.
Matthew Lillard, our friend David Desmalchin.
Everybody's favorite weirdo.
Mia Sara, Karen Gillan. There's Katie Seagal's in it. I mean,
come on.
You've got so many people. Heather Langenkamp, who
played.
And
it was a cheap movie to make.
It's like as we're getting closer to spooky season, I was like Heather Langenkamp, who is the original final girl from Nightmare on Elm Street. She played Nancy Thompson. She has been out of the acting game for 100 years at this point. She does visual effects with her husband. She stepped back in front of the camera for this. I mean, there's so many people in this that you're going to recognize, and it's a genuinely good movie.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it. I had to say, you guys, I missed it because I didn't realize it had already been out.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll catch it on streaming, but
how
yeah.
hard did you have to bury the advertising that you had Luke Skywalker and Loki in a movie together?
My question is why would you bury that advertising?
What did you do?
Well, maybe they didn't have the budget, Max. I mean, I don't know.
This movie didn't cost that much. There was budget. If you could afford all of those people.
Well, you got.
How did you kill your buzz?
All right, let's step back for a second on that one, Alan. If you look at this is a master class in acting. Most of these people love the art. I'm sure that with the director, they could have probably gone, yeah, we'll take scale.
Yeah, sometimes actors just want a good performance and they want to be a part of a good project.
Right,
so.
and
this movie could be anybody's Oscar sizzle reel.
And just as a twist, it was sort of based on a Stephen King novella.
Oh yeah, the Charles Krantz stories. I mean, it's like, and if you like things like, say,
all right. So how did I not hear about this until I hear about it on a show about what flopped?
Okay, yeah, it's like I saw the trailer for it in front of 2 movies that I saw this past year, and I can't remember exactly what movies they were because they didn't matter. But
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at this and I'm going, was this year about bragging rights as to who lost how much money? Because it really appears that way. Because, all right, Joe, you and I had a disagreement in the past over Avatar.
Yeah, I'm just
you don't
not
get
interested.
that movie.
No,
you don't get that movie.
I didn't even finish
There's
the second
nothing
one.
about that movie that interests you in the slightest. And I took one look at Avatar 1, and I told you Avatar 2 was just going to print money. And you went, no, it didn't. And Avatar 2 printed money.
Well, yeah, but it didn't print dollars. It could have printed dollars.
Yeah, but
it
then,
came really close, though.
You know, but now, sadly, nobody asked about Fire and Ash.
It looks so good.
We didn't even have a conversation about it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about that. But actually, as I'm listening to this, Alan, and your impassioned speech, I sense a little hypocrisy, and I'm going to call you out on it when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. Mark Hamill still hasn't returned their phone calls. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson, here with my buddy, here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbert. The buddy thing is like tool talk, whatever.
We got you. You're good.
Here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max over there behind the glass.
Can you guess why I picked that?
Yeah, I think I can guess, Max. It wasn't all that subtle. So, but if you're just tuning in, we were talking. Well, Allan was in passion. We had to. I mean, restrain the man. He was just flummoxed with how many. It wasn't so much about movies that that came out like Superman and Fantastic Four and things that underperformed, but you were sort of flummoxed that movies that really had some value, like that were quality movies, still bombed. Mm-hmm. Well, Allan, you're the man, and I said before the break, I'm calling Allan out a little bit on hypocrisy because here I'm listening to a man getting upset that the movie, what was it, The Life of Chuck?
Life of Chuck.
Which, by all accounts, is probably going to be, it's going to be Oscar material. It sounds like it had great performances, a great cast, a really excellent movie. And you're sort of miffed that nobody went and saw it. And I'm like, well, Allan, when's the last time you went into it? You're the one that's been trying to kill the institution of the movie theater.
Well,
all you do is talk about how rotten it is. So
it is. And this
maybe everybody's listening to to Geek Tank, and they're saying, Allan's got a point. I'm not going to go to the movies anymore.
And this is coming from, and I'll even add to your case.
Okay.
I'll even argue half of it for you.
Okay.
And this is coming from a guy who just attended a movie premiere at a very high-end theater here in town for a music video I got something to do with.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was at the fabulous theater here in town, and really there weren't many people. And I'm sorry, if you want my $20, you're not going to get it for How to Train Your Dragon.
Well,
You want my $20 at my age and my mentality, you're going to get it for something like Life of Chuck, where
Okay.
I'm going to make an evening of it. There's going to be possibly dinner. There's this. We're going to go see the movie. I'm upset about this one because this is one I probably would have gone to see.
yeah. Well, maybe it's
This
more
is a
about
rare.
maybe this is more about the institution of the theaters being the problem. Because I still don't think we've ever recovered since COVID. I think COVID
No, we have
taught
not.
people that you can live without going to the movies, and they never came back. A
I
lot
think
of people
COVID
haven't.
taught people that we don't like people.
Well, I don't know, man. So
Well, and you can go to your local multi-big box store and you can get a 100-inch television for the price of about 5 movie trips?
well,
Maybe 4.
yeah. These
Maybe
days they're so
4.
cheap. Yeah.
Max,
I think the nice thing about living in this age of information is even if something flops in terms of not being advertised like in the theaters and everything, it never really ever truly disappears because it's like you might be setting up Life of Chuck and everything. Like it might not get the credit it deserves in quote unquote this lifetime, but you're setting itself up for like a legacy. Like, and I think that like Nikola Tesla didn't get his due until he died.
Well, my question is, because Brandon, you know the nuts and bolts, and you
Right.
and Allan know the business end of this. Because I'm like, I wonder if there's some movies they put out and it's like, okay, we're going to put it in the theaters, but we're really going to invest our promotion in once it gets to streaming. Because I could see this still becoming a big hit. In fact, The Wizard of Oz didn't make money initially at the theaters on the first run. It made money later in history.
I'm going to do an Allan thing.
Yeah.
And I don't really like the idea of doing this because it's not something that's necessary, but I feel it's a good example. Sometimes it's all about making sure you can get you can keep your rights or whatever that you need. And I'm gonna pick on the original Fantastic Four movie.
It's like every 10 years you wonder why there's a Fantastic Four movie.
And
it has
you know,
nothing
it's
to
like
do with art.
Marvel, this is the first time Marvel's actually done a Fantastic Four movie with this latest one.
Mm-hmm.
But you look back and the cheesiest of cheese, the one that was never released, it was made and then put on the shelf. But I think what we actually have nowadays is a slightly different animal, but it's in the same vein. People make this movie and then put it in the theaters. They know that their audience is in streaming.
Right.
But you have to have a certain number of dates in the theater before you are Oscar worthy in the eyes of the Academy. You have to hit a certain amount of time in the theater before they will give you the option to submit your film for consideration even.
This sounds like legacy thinking because it's like if you're having to like do things based on an archaic deadline and everything, because why doesn't the Academy just scrap the whole idea of films need to have a certain amount of time in the theater?
Because it's a bunch of people telling each other how great they are. They don't want outsiders.
Well, that's true, but it's more along the lines of the fact that the Academy, for as pretentious and narcissistic as they are trying to, be conservators of the movie-going experience. So if you want to be considered for, the picture of the year, you have to have been through the medium that they see is best. It's why they've started creating completely separate categories for streaming stuff. But let's say Life of Chuck gets into the theater. It's got maybe a 3-week engagement because of the fact that nobody knows it's there. Nobody goes to see it. It may not make a dime. But it now registers, and so you submit it for the various, best actor, best supporting actor, best actress, script, director, film, whatever. And best picture is like the greatest thing you can get when it comes to being recognized by your peers. Life of Chuck's going to be, an Oscar nominee sweetheart.
So there's your advertising.
It should.
The nomination is what gets you people to watch
but I
it.
think they screwed that up somehow.
No, that's the thing though. Is it had its run. It'll be set for the next set of the next award ceremony, and now they can just go, hey, look at this. Screeners go out to all the people in the Academy. They vote. People go, oh my God! And then all of a sudden, this movie has another run in theaters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it
as
could.
well as driving subscriptions.
Right.
Ah.
There we go.
Talk to
yeah,
ESPN about that.
So this
Sucking
may
Heinz
be
hit.
brilliant, actually, what they're doing, Alan. Maybe they wanted the exact reaction you're giving.
I want to hear the word brilliant applied to the electric state.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
Drop the robot.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson, here with my friends Brandon Olmsted and Allan Gilbreth, and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, we were noticing that there's been a lot of flops this year, and flops from the sense of they just didn't earn a lot of money at the box office. It doesn't mean they weren't good movies. So.
Well, yeah, it's true, and I've seen a lot of these movies, but I waited until they made it to video on demand or just straight up free streaming and whatnot. And I've watched a lot of them, and I can say that there's a lot of them that had absolutely no right to do as badly as they did.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say there are some that actually did well that I question the audience.
Oh,
You didn't bring up Minecraft, did you?
Well, no. Well, I could. No. I heard a lot of good things about The Woman in the Yard.
Okay.
That was early this year.
That was a bit back. Yes.
that's a horror movie, right?
Oh, it's thriller suspense.
Okay.
And when you realize what the themes are and you make it to the end, if you understood it, I cannot see any reason why you would recommend this movie. So I've got this feeling that there's also a problem with audiences possibly comprehending what they went and saw.
I like movies like that, like The Fountain, or movies that you don't even really know at the end what it was about.
With the exception of Tenet.
Or Joker.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree.
Tenet, yeah,
I
forget that.
gotta agree with Max.
I wanted to punch the movie screen after that one. Yeah.
It's like imagine seeing it in a drive-in.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
just want to drive your car off a cliff afterwards.
Hold on. I wasn't even thinking this, but do you guys think what would happen if you watched that movie in reverse? Do you think we'd pick up anything like?
It would make just as little sense, just faster.
I'm just wondering, like, if
It's like how when Coldplay, when they were recording the song "The Scientist," the music video, he actually had to sing the song in reverse,
right?
Because of the circumstances of the music video.
It's a cool video. So, but anyway, okay,
So crazy. But yeah,
no. But I guess the thing about it is, Brandon, you did bring a good point about some of these where it's even a part of the strategy of the movie where they from a business aspect, they don't care if it flops at the box office because this thing's going to maybe make an Oscar run, and then it's going to get rejuvenated.
And we have seen instances, they're few and far between, but we have seen instances where people who are award-winning writers and directors go on to get bigger features after having something that literally made negative dollars in theaters.
The thing is, one of my big beefs is that movies, like I was just thinking about how many movies actually influence me or actually leave a mark on me. Like, where it's like, like I said, the Dead Poet Society actually kind of changed my life, or even Andor or The Sandman.
Yeah.
It makes an impact and gets you thinking and you want to rewatch it, but not many other projects do that. But this Life of Chuck is intriguing to me because it seems like this is actual cinematic art.
And
it's a piece of art finally, right?
It's literary art to begin with.
That's cool to know.
It's a Stephen King story. But the thing is that they've given it such life.
Mm-hmm.
And I always love it when you have something that hits in one medium and then when they transfer it to another, they find a way to make it hit just as hard.
Because you said it's a short story, but some of Stephen King's, my favorite things with him are his short stories. Some of his books just go on and on.
Yeah, the novellas are to the point.
One of my favorite Stephen King stories is 1408.
Oh, that
amazing story.
Yeah.
Horrible movie.
Yeah. So
all right. So what happened to something with an interesting premise with a great big star like Mickey 17?
Oh, did that bomb too?
Honestly, after seeing Mickey 17, I would say it was overproduced. But it's also one of those things that, and this is a curse in Hollywood, no matter what the reason is. When you have massive delays whether it be because of rights issues or editing issues, whether you need to put in CGI, whether the focus groups don't get it, so you go and make it easier for the mainstream audiences to understand. Whatever the reason, you're going to get a backlash when it comes to the theatrical release. Waterworld went extremely over budget and with reshoots and was delayed by over a year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that it would have saved that movie, but if it had come out when it was supposed to, a Kevin Costner aquamarine adventure was going to sell tickets.
Yeah, back then
By
he
the
was
time,
the man. He was a
by
big
the time
star.
it came out, people were he had 3 other movies come out between when it was supposed to, and people were like, "Yeah, it's Kevin Costner."
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so
timing plays a role.
Fatigue.
So Mission Impossible, we've had 47 of them. We're
We-
just kind of like,
we just
you won't go away.
We just had what Tom Cruise has said is the last one, because I think he's just gotten to the point where he's tired of running.
Yeah.
He wants to go do another, like Top Gun, so he can be in a jet.
He can sit down.
I
Yeah.
watched the Final Reckoning. I enjoyed the Final Reckoning.
Okay.
But you could totally cut out the first 45 minutes of the movie because it's all flashbacks and storytelling that you've already learned.
So
And then, of course, we've retread How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon. And Lilo and,
It's already out,
and
guys.
Lilo-
You already made a beautifully
and
wonderful
Lilo and Stitch.
animated series.
They're both really good. They're both enjoyable, but you already did those.
You already made this movie.
Stop making live action remakes of your animated features. Your animated features are always going to be better.
yeah,
Here's
Well, Jungle Book was a novelty because we hadn't seen one. But they have diminishing returns ever since Jungle Book.
Max.
Here's the funny thing about rehashings and everything is nothing's new under the sun. We alluded to this earlier, the whole idea of the Wizard of Oz. Well, back in the day, there were already other 7 productions of the Wizard of Oz under Hollywood's belt.
well, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah, it's a remake.
It wasn't new. They actually were retreading the Wizard of Oz.
I felt that was a pretty decent transition into that one segment I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Well, It is, but we're not. We've got so many other thoughts we have to finish through. But I like the idea because it does get us into the point. There's so many of these movies that do get delayed because they're train wrecks.
Yeah, but they already made them, so they're not gonna not release them.
Yeah, the
except
Flash.
Wile E. Coyote, I guess. But
No, it's coming out. It is finally getting distributed. I think it's in January.
Yeah, but that's a fresh movie.
Okay.
That is
And it's-
not a remake of a Coyote versus Roadrunner.
And it's got John Cena in it. And who would have thought that John Cena would be the premier wrestler turned actor?
Okay.
Him and Batista, man. I want him in a buddy cop movie.
All right. You're listening to Geek Tank Radio. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
Harry Potter and all his wizard friends went straight to hell for practicing witchcraft.
Yeah, welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmsted and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max over there behind the glass, the sinister Max over there behind the glass. And Brandon, okay.
Have you ever noticed that whenever he does a Ned Flanders quote, my eye twitches
Yeah, yeah. Ned, you can't beat Ned Flanders. So
yes, you can with a stick.
with a stick?
we're in the middle of talking about things that I guess had to do with almost strategic flops, you could say, or just straight out flops, because we're in the middle of a transition with the movie business. With Brandon, I'm sort of shocked and amazed that you haven't worked in one shameless plug for the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention. And next weekend we will be on location, and I feel like we should at least mention that.
I know, but I'm trying to keep my focus on Allan's subject, because it's so rare that Allan comes in and goes, "Ooh, we need to talk about."
Yeah. No, but
And he was excited. So, but yes, next weekend we will be.
we're going to be at 2 locations, actually.
We're splitting our promo team. I will be over at the Memphis Comic Expo, which will be at the Memphis Sports Center and Event Complex.
Right.
And you will be surrounded by cosplayers out at Cooper Young.
Yeah, check it out, folks. We're going to have a couple of Cumulus tents over there. We'll be right at the corner of Cooper and Young, giving out swag. I don't know if Allan's going to have any of any swag from the shows here. Probably not. Okay, but we'll have Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention swag, and we've got cosplayers that are going to be marching the streets promoting the convention because we're only, we're about 7 weeks away now from. So November 1st is going to be our big blowout. It's going to be a marathon. 1-day event, and it's going to be really big. We got more space. We're at the beautiful and spacious Memphis Hilton.
And if you follow us on social media, I'm sure you have been inundated with reels and stories showing the new layout of the Hilton.
It's great.
It is pretty.
We're so excited, and that's our home. The Memphis Hilton has always been our favorite venue, and we're back for our 15-year anniversary. So if you want to get tickets, it's super easy. Just go to memphiscfc.com. The tickets are very affordable, and I have just a handful of vendor booths available if you want to have a vendor or artist booth. But
anyway. I want to go ahead and say, guys, it's getting down to the wire. I'm here as of not this coming Monday, but the following Monday, September 15th. I will be closing out programming submissions, at which point I get the worst job ever, and that's trying to figure out which one of the programming segments actually get chosen. I hate when I have to I have so many different ones and they all sound interesting, and I end up having to schedule them, and there are certain ones that don't get in, which is why I try not to schedule anything until we get all the submissions in.
Yeah, but they're going to be good. There's a lot. It's a lot. Get there early and stay all day. It's a lot of fun.
I'm really excited to have the return of Coach Tom Knowles, and he's a fencing instructor. He will teach. He's going to be teaching 2 different segments.
He teaches a lot of things like Jedi
training. If you want to learn one of the lightsaber styles, Tom's your guy.
Fencing, it's cool. So it's hands-on activity.
I'm seriously looking forward to the one-act operetta of the
Through the Looking Screen.
Through the Looking Screen. It's all about dating apps.
A modern opera.
A modern opera.
They're saying opera. It's really a musical. I mean, because it's not like that type of singing.
Hey. As we have learned from our good friend Ned Canting, opera is not just
Yeah.
In fact, it's usually a lot of really good singing in in other languages.
And we have a second performance that we're doing with the Hutchison. This is a big production. It's Mask of the Red Death, right?
Right.
Edgar Allan Poe.
It's an adaptation of Edgar Allan Poe's Mask of the Red Death, which is also going to be turned into a one-act play by a student there who this was her senior project.
Yeah, Maya Pentecost. Big shout out to her.
I mean, that kid is amazing. She's going to go far.
Yeah, she
just
that's
has
the business
the
she wants to get into, and
and I will say this about working amongst conventions across the board: these young people who want to get involved in these conventions have such drive and passion and enthusiasm that it ignites my cold dead heart in ways that I've missed. I've been so excited to be working with the folks that we're working with now.
And as long as we're saying that, our Allie has gone above and beyond. Our
Allie Gossett,
Allie Gossett, our volunteer, she's great.
It's like, we talk about adopting these kids. This one came to us and just said, I'm going to show all your other folks up. And she's done an amazing job. She's just enthusiastic across the board. She's just again, it gets you back to the point where you get past the cynicism. And after this past year, we've had a lot of it.
Yeah. So anyway, one more time, memphiscfc.com, and learn more, and follow us on Facebook at the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention. Well, Max, I'm sorry we didn't. Let's make a point of getting to this next week because we can't do justice to your Wizard of Oz topic. But this is interesting. This whole idea of things flopping and good pieces of art maybe going under the radar, or I hope it's not going to mean that we're not going to get good movies. I don't know. I'd rather have movies like Life of Chuck.
I think as long as there are people in this world that are still inspired by art, we will continue to have good art in every medium. There will always be the shortcuts. There will always be the cheap cash grabs. But as long as we can keep some art inspirational, we'll always have artists, whether it be TV, movies, books, whatever. I think it's and that's the goal. That's kind of what we do is we want to promote you guys and get you guys to contribute to the arts. We want to see good things. We want good stories.
Well, speaking of that, is Life of Chuck still at the theater, or did I miss my chance? 'Cause I'll go see it. If it's still out, I'll go see it.
I'm sure it is streaming by now.
It is streaming.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll do our part, and we'll get it on streaming, and that still counts, right, towards its earnings.
Oh,
as
yeah,
far
yeah,
as,
yeah.
If they're keeping score, it's just the streaming.
It's like right
earnings.
now, it's a $5.99 rental on Prime Video, and it's like
Really?
yeah. I'm not gonna not.
Seems underpriced, man.
Well, that's a rental. I mean, I'm sure it's like 25 or 30 if you want to purchase it.
What's its freshness on the tomato meter?
Oh,
It's high, Max.
it's a 67 on Metascore.
Wait.
It's a
what?
7.4 across the board. But remember,
I don't care what these
nobody's seen
reviewers.
it.
All right, whatever. We'll report back, but not now because it's time to get out of here. So until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
I'm Allan Gilbreth.
I'm Maximilian.
And I am Brandon Olmsted, hoping we didn't flop in your hearts.